Right, here we are, Thursday, September 15th. I'm Tom Novak. Thanks for joining me for this update that's going to focus on the next week. We're also going to take a look at the drought index across the country and, of course, more specifically across Minnesota and western Wisconsin. In fact, here it is. Here's the drought index map right now, the drought monitor. And what we're showing you is take a look at this, what's happening over the Central Plains. Now, this is a broken record, but it has been dry from Texas all the way north up to South Dakota and even into portions of Minnesota and Wisconsin. We have not been able to get rid of this drought that is plaguing portions of southern Minnesota and western Wisconsin. It's in patches, but right over the southern and central Twin Cities metro, you're seeing a severe drought still in place. So we need rain here in Minnesota and western Wisconsin because, yes, again, especially the central and southern Twin Cities metro, you can see it right here all the way west and southwest to Mankato and the Minnesota River Valley. These are the areas that desperately need some rain as we get into the fall season now. And I think we're going to get some, so that's good news. This is the moisture channel loop from outer space now showing just a ton of dry air, indicative of the colors of yellow and orange. A ton of dry air over about the southern half of the country right now. And it's been a dry September over much of the country, especially the southern half of the U.S., and I think that's going to continue here over the next week or two. I'll show you that here in just a little bit. But look at this. We have moisture here that's streaming west, or that's streaming east and northeast into the northern half of the country. And this moisture here over the Dakotas, Minnesota, is going to leak some showers and storms here over the rest of this week here and into this weekend. Here's your visible satellite loop over northern Minnesota and northern North Dakota. Look at this. These are some showers and even some thunderstorms now that are bubbling up and breaking out, and I think that's going to be the case here over the next 24 hours, and eventually I think we're going to get some storms here over southern Minnesota and western Wisconsin, but that may not be until tomorrow, and especially later in the day tomorrow, and then into portions of this weekend. This weekend by no means is going to be a washout, but we'll have to watch for scattered showers and storms through much of this weekend. Here's your river of air, 30 to 35,000 feet. This is, of course, the jet stream. It's the European computer model guidance, and you can see that we have a west and southwest flow here across the whole lower 48 here and even into southern Canada. Now watch what happens as we go through time. Here's the winds as we get into Friday night now and Saturday, and they are still coming out of the southwest. So this is a rather moist and certainly a warm weather pattern that we're in for this weekend. And then even into early next week, that pattern stays in place. But look at what happens as we get into later next week. This is Thursday and Friday now of next week. Our flow changes dramatically and comes out of the west and especially the northwest. That's a cooler, much cooler weather pattern for later next week. And yeah, that's going to mean our temperatures are going to actually be below normal. Imagine that as we get into later next week for what has been a really warm September. I did want to focus on Saturday. This is Saturday afternoon, and look at the winds on Saturday afternoon at about 20 to 25,000 feet. They're relatively strong at about 30 to 40 knots. And then as we go down in the atmosphere, now this is at about, about 10,000 to 15,000 feet in our atmosphere. We still have strong winds, and they're coming up out of the southwest. And then in the lowest layers of our atmosphere, at about 5,000 feet, we continue to have what's called a low-level jet that's going to be poking its nose into southeastern Minnesota. Long story short, we're going to have winds that are going to be turning in our atmosphere as we get into Sunday afternoon or Saturday afternoon and evening. And that's a recipe for the potential for at least a little bit of severe weather. We'll see how everything comes together. But we're going to have to probably watch out for that here, especially over southern Minnesota and northern Iowa. Here's your future satellite from the NAM computer model guidance, and this is for this afternoon, and it's showing thunderstorms and showers breaking out over northern Minnesota, portions of North Dakota. As we go through the evening now and then overnight hours tonight, we're looking at relatively quiet weather, although some storms may develop. You can see them here. Let's rewind that for you. You can see some scattered storms developing tomorrow afternoon. This is tomorrow afternoon at about 3 or 4 in the afternoon. Don't be surprised if storms start to bubble up on radar over southern and central Minnesota and western Wisconsin. And that's kind of the pattern that we're going to be in as we go through Friday and then into Saturday. You can see, again, more showers and storms developing in a scattered fashion here over southern Minnesota and western Wisconsin as we get into Saturday afternoon also. So yes, keep the umbrella handy here as we get into the day tomorrow and then through Saturday. It will not be a washout, but we certainly will have the potential for at least some precipitation. And the European computer model guidance is showing that this is a potential precipitation now through early next week. And look at this, the bullseye is over northern Minnesota and up into Lake Superior. But yes, we should have some scattered storms here over southern Minnesota and western Wisconsin and into portions of Iowa, areas that desperately need some rain. And I think we're going to get some in a scattered fashion here over time. And look at what's happening here over the southern half of the United States. Bone dry for at least the next 6 to perhaps even 10 days as we get in towards the end of September. Hey, speaking of the end, or at least the second half of September, this is my temperature outlook for the country and for southern Canada. And I think with a strong west to northwest flow, which should develop as we get into next week, that's going to separate warm air over the plains states and portions of the Rocky Mountains from much colder air over the Great Lakes and northeastern sections of the United States. And with that being said, with that battleground that's going to be developing across the U.S., I think there are going to be storms and some significant rains from eastern Minnesota and Wisconsin on east through the Great Lakes and northeastern sections of the United States. Meanwhile, look at the real dry air that is going to be situated over much of the plains and the southern 2/3 of the United States. For us, for Minnesota and Wisconsin, I'm thinking on the average, pretty normal temperatures, roller coaster riding temperatures, along with the potential for at least some precipitation. Here's your extended outlook. And there it is, a warm day today. We cool off this weekend, not because of cool Canadian air, but because I think showers and storms are going to keep our temperatures in check this weekend, especially on Friday and Saturday. We should be dry most of Sunday and Monday. And then look at this, Tuesday, this is when the change happens. We're really warm, if not hot, on Tuesday. And then a Canadian front moves through Tuesday night and into Wednesday morning. And that means much cooler. In fact, almost cold air, I think, as we head into the second half of next week. All right, that's your forecast. Hey, thanks for joining me, everyone. Take care. Have a great weekend. We'll talk to you again probably next week, unless we have severe weather this weekend.